My name is Bruce Hennes. I'm not a lawyer. Despite that somewhat significant fact, I serve on the board of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association as one of 3 public members. I'm also honored to have been selected to serve on the executive committee of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, as well as on the board of the Judicial Candidates Rating Coalition and JudgeForYourself.com. So, why would a non-lawyer want to be an associate member of the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association and voluntarily spend huge amounts of time in rooms full of attorneys? Well, altruistically, I understand the importance of the legal industry to Cleveland's economy. I also know how many lives lawyers touch with the 3 R's program: alternative dispute resolution, offering assistance to attorneys who have mental illness and depression, deal with a disease that shouldn't be difficult to talk about, but is. I also know how much effort attorneys put into pro bono representation through the Bar Association and through legal aid. I know about judicial excellence and sometimes the lack thereof, and just how important the legal justice system is to the people who live and work in Greater Cleveland. I also know that the delivery of these services depend on the infrastructure at the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, where the bar's board of directors sets policy for our executive director and staff. Let me paint a picture for you. 30 lawyers in a room, each well-meaning, all donating their time, and everyone a legal scholar and wordsmith. It's then that the phrase, "they can't see the forest for the trees," sometimes takes corporeal form, if you will, and the wisdom of the men and women who put the Bar Association's bylaws together, mandating the presence of a few non-lawyers on the board like me, becomes quite clear. I'll leave the rest to your imagination, except to say I make it a point in my business never to practice law, and I sometimes must remind my attorney colleagues that in turn they should refrain from the practice of what I do: public relations and marketing, skill sets that aren't taught in law school. Turning from altruism, I'll admit to the mercenary. I'm the managing partner of Hennes Painter Communications. We're the only crisis comm boutique firm in the state of Ohio, and one of the very few in the United States with that singular focus. As a high-end professional service firm, our business model is exactly the same as most law firms. Given the crisis nature of our work, 99% of the time we deal directly with C-suite executives, which means either we've been referred in by an attorney, we're working side by side with corporate counsel or an outside law firm, or we're on the opposite end of the table from corporate counsel or the outside law firm, because generally speaking, we counsel our clients, with rare exception, to tell the truth, tell it all, and tell it first, which is often counterintuitive to a legal strategy focused on winning in court, even if the trial is likely to be years off. Because we spend so much time with attorneys, I became an associate member of the Cuyahoga County Bar Association and the Cleveland Bar Association years ago, lending my expertise in doing volunteer work. If your business involves working in and around attorneys, I encourage you to join the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association as an associate member. Like any other trade association, you just can't join, show up at a meeting, pass around business cards, and expect the business to roll in. It doesn't work that way. Instead, you have to find your niche, join a committee or two, demonstrate expertise, under-promise and over-deliver, and look for and accept higher levels of responsibility. It does take time, but it's time well spent. In doing so, I've made lifelong friends, and I think I personify the adage that you can do well by doing good. Membership in the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association is good for the community, good for the profession, and if you roll up your sleeves, you will find your investment is very much worth the while. Thanks for listening.